ugly inner city sweat hogs, hit the music.
All right. We've had 4 days of SummerSlam in its entirety. If you really think about it, we had SmackDown the night before, then we had Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah, well, that's why it's over. 4 days of excitement.
I am full. I got my big helping of SummerSlam this weekend. It is pretty taxing, I must admit. You really got to set aside some time from the family or from whatever else you're doing, and you just got to hunker down and watch it all in one shot.
They always talk about, they're not worried about oversaturation, but I don't know what they're drinking or smoking, but I thought this weekend I felt oversaturated. Like lots of saturated fats in my diet this weekend.
You can detox midweek when you're watching NXT.
That's for sure. Well, I think before we get really rolling here, we added a third member, and we figured, because, I'm Raz and you're Turk, so our partner in crime here, he thought he'd do one of us better, and he went with Matt. Yeah, that's right. Well, welcome, Matt, to the Off the Rails wrestling channel. What's your story with wrestling?
Well, whenever you get a group of guys all oiled up, ready to rub each other down, tackle them, get messy on the mat, I'm there for it.
I 100% agree with that statement. A person can never rub themselves with enough baby oil. There. So, let's get into it. What's your guys' overall thoughts on, was the 2 nights unneeded?
No, 2 nights was too much. It's probably solid 4 out of 10 event, counting both nights. Most of the matches could have been on SmackDown or Raw.
I kind of agree with you, but I'm probably going to give it a more favorable rating. I guess if we're going out of 10, I'd give it 6 out of 10, just because I found this more enjoyable than WrestleMania in April. I thought I had a better time. I think for me, there were more wow moments. I was surprised in a few of my predictions. I enjoyed some of it, but obviously there's always a lot of fluff with these. So obviously they can cram this down to a lot quicker, but I get it. They're marketing every second of the show, with, hey, thanks for that. That was great. The Slim Jim tables, they make sure they get those in, marketing just about everything they can put their hands on. So that's basically what it's all about. It's all about marketing.
I could have just used just one night of this. I thought 12 matches in its entirety. We used to get like WrestleManias that had 14 matches on a card. And it was like, maybe at most 3 hours. We're getting like 6 hours of wrestling and only 6 matches per evening. It's just drags on too much, in my opinion. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. I didn't hate it, but I just found myself, I think I enjoyed actually WrestleMania as a whole more than I did this SummerSlam. But I did like some matches, and I think we'll kind of get into that. We'll start with night 1. I actually thought night 2 was better than night 1. But night 1 I thought started off pretty good with the Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the Braun brothers, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the Tribal Thief.
Braun, yep.
I thought there were some cool spots. Like it looked like both Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed were trying to kill themselves when they were diving over the rope, especially Bronson.
Yeah, they're over jumps. Air Jordans. They could get lots of air. Bronson stole them from Roman, and now he could jump like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, the Hula Fala.
AJ Styles match with Dominic. When Dominic took his boot off, I got a little bit kind of nervous that Bronson Reed was going to come out and steal those.
Well, that's an angle that they'll probably explore later.
I thought the Bronze could really use the win, but storyline-wise, it kind of made sense that Jey Uso and Roman won. They're kind of setting up the story with Roman Reigns where he took the bullet for Jey Uso, and it's kind of building that because if you follow kind of their storyline for the last 10 years, Roman was kind of that, the evil dictator that sacrificed, Jey and all the other guys. So now he's sacrificing himself. So I thought that was kind of cool for story-wise.
He was the selfish lover. Perfect rom-com right there.
It is. It was okay for an opener, but nothing special. I wish they would have had kind of more of different kind of like ending for them to win where it was, I thought it was a little too to give Jey Uso. I thought maybe they needed to have some type of foreign object just to knock out the Bronson Reed, so kind of keep him still strong. But whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, it was a solid opener. It's over. Done with it. It was fine to watch.
Well, then we'll move on to the tag team match with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I think every young boy's fantasy, stepmom and stepdaughter. I mean, I like the dynamic between Charlotte and Alexa, but other than that, I just, my problem is that Roxanne, again, because she's a little heel and a little 5'11", she needs to be like that biting and clawing, and she does too many fancy moves. I think she's really talented, but I like to see her because she's so small, and when she's in these types of matches, I need to see more grit from her and more like cheating, biting, especially if she's going to play a villain.
Yeah, well, she pairs up good with Alexa because she's also kind of small, so it was really a good tag team because Charlotte and Raquel are around the same size. Then Alexa and Roxanne are kind of the same size. I don't know. I liked that match. Mostly because of the Charlotte and Alexa team up. That's one of my dreams right there. So any chance I could see them on screen together, I'm good with that.
Can you elaborate on that dream?
Well, there's a tub of mayonnaise, maybe some chicken. I don't know. Just kind of see where it goes from there.
Is it kind of like a plate of pierogies and you just go with the sour cream and bacon bits? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Well, whatever they bring to the table to offer, I'm good with it.
I thought the matchup was good too. Like, again, you got the two tall girls there and the two shorter girls, so it just seems to match up perfectly. Having them in the rings together, it looked really good. Their spots were pretty good. Yeah, I think it was a quality match.
Yeah, I like the tease they had when Alexa accidentally hit Charlotte and Charlotte was in the ring and they kind of panned thinking, oh, Charlotte's going to hit her back, but then she didn't, and then they hugged it out.
And I am totally offering all my services to rub any of the areas that they're still sore from that match.
Yeah, I think one thing that kind of ruined that match is the instant rematch on Raw. That was unnecessary. They did that exact same shit on WrestleMania. Becky and Lyra beat Liv and Raquel when they had the rematch on Raw. Kind of made that whole thing pointless.
Well, it kind of does, because then it totally eliminates Raquel and Roxanne. They took two losses in a row. So I don't know. I think that also says something about the tag team division.
Yeah, I mean, well, who else is there? When Natalia and Maxine Dupree. Yeah, they ate maybe team. I guess they got the Kabuki Warriors.
Well, they already lost a few matches, so how do you even justify them for another title shot?
Yeah, unless they're bringing back Jade and Bianca, but I think that's kind of been done and over with. We don't need that again.
Really, the dynamic out of that is really the story told of the blossoming friendship with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. That's really kind of what the focus was, and I liked it, and I want to know more about it, especially when they're in the showers. So the third match there is your favorite, Matt. Sami Zayn took on Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I think that's about enough time spent on this match. There was nothing of importance came up there.
This match did nothing for Sami winning. Karrion Kross should have won it. This was more about building Karrion Kross's character, and they did nothing. Now, Karrion Kross, I wouldn't say is the best in-ring worker, but he's got a good persona, and people are getting behind him. How do you build when you make him lose all the time, when he should actually get a win?
Yeah, what was the match after? I don't remember.
Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. A match for the women's championship. I thought this was a stinker, to be honest with you.
Yeah, short match, easy Tiffy win.
Yeah.
No real struggle there. Kind of leaves Tiffy of where does she go from here? And then what do you do with Jade? I think Jade probably should have won. There was probably more story you could do after that.
Yeah, I made a video about Jade Cargill's trajectory and where she should go as a WWE superstar, and this match, yeah, like you said, it was a stinker. I'm increasingly being disappointed about Jade Cargill's performance, And, and Tiffy can have her fuck ups from time to time. And when you have these two girls in a ring together, chaos, not necessarily chaos, but flubs naturally will occur. Neither one of them are very precise wrestlers. Jade Cargill needs a lot of work. And when she tries to do precise work in the ring, she often flounders. She needs to just focus on her strength and just be a powerhouse kind of wrestler and not try and be too agile, because that's where she fails. And I don't think she sells very well. She could work on that as well. I know there's a lot of wrestlers out there that can't sell very well, but it's just another thing she needs to work on. So every match that I see, I always can pinpoint a pretty bad spot, and I'm sure everyone can see it too. And in this match, it was the pin while Tiffy was supposed to get her leg up on the rope and she wasn't quite close enough. And so then you saw Jade kind of pull her leg for her to put it on the rope. So that was a really bad spot.
And I had Michael Cole trying to justify it.
And that's the thing. Michael Cole's he's not helping the situation. And we'll get into it further with the Becky Lynch match, because he kind of helped him F that up too.
I understand both Tiffy and Jade Cargill are still green and they're still kind of learning. But, Jade just didn't look good when she did her finisher, and then she kind of rolled and pulled her legs. And then she's asking, what happened? Why did she kick out? When clearly her legs are on the rope when you pushed her legs on the rope for the pin.
Yeah.
And then you're acting like, what happened? That's not a 3. She looked dumb. And a character like that has to look confident. And the thing is, I'm in the mindset that potentially the WWE is not on the Jade Cargill train, because she loses a little more kind of frequent. And this match, I think we can all agree we don't think she's ready for that. But the thing is, if you're going to put her in this spot and then you have her being beat kind of concise, what's next for her? The only thing I can see is that she goes heel. And that's part of the problem why this match didn't really work for the build-up, because it wasn't a good build-up. But I think that's an overarching thing with the WWE now, because they are putting on so many PELs that you're lucky if you get 2 weeks, 3 weeks build for these things. And for SummerSlam, it's a 2-day thing, and we only get 3 weeks to build this SummerSlam. And this match, you don't know who the heel or the face is, because Tiffany is kind of a face, but she still kind of acts like a heel. Where you look at Jade Cargill, she is a face, but she kind of acts heel-like. So it's confusing. So it's hard to get behind these characters to a certain degree. I don't know. This match didn't work for me. I'm ready to move on. I think Tiffany, just get Julia in there and have her beat Tiffany for it. I want Julia to win it. Get Stephanie, and let's see what these two girls can do. I know they can't speak English too good, but you know what? We got two girls here that can speak English, and they can't really cut good promos, so who cares?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think moving on would be good.
This next match we got to talk about, because it is kind of one of the feature ones. So we got our man, Drew McIntyre, straight from Scotland. And then we got Logan Paul teaming together to fight Randy Orton and Butterball.
Jelly Roll.
Whatever.
For all you Jelly Roll fans out there.
This match got almost 20 minutes, more than some of the other matches. I don't know what you guys think of this. I said this. The only thing I like about this match is that it was Drew McIntyre in a high-profile match. And I understand what Jelly Roll kind of means for certain demographic, bringing them in. It's the celebrity kind of thing. And I like the fact that he actually didn't win. And Drew and Logan got the win because it makes sense that they should have won.
Yeah, the start was so slow. It was painful to watch. I mean, you're watching a big guy just kind of sweat it out and try to tag in Randy. I think the highlight was that Logan Paul spot off the top rope through the table. I mean, you can say what you want about Logan Paul, but man, that kid's got talent. Like, he's always has crazy spots. And that was definitely the highlight. Then even Jelly Roll for taking that. I mean, I guess
Oh, yeah.
he's got a bit of a cushion there, so probably soften the blow a little bit.
Man, props to that guy for losing like over 100 pounds already.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. Like when he was at, what was it, SummerSlam last year where he performed? Like, fuck, he was a big guy.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Like, so the guy was like 400 pounds?
Oh, wrestling got him motivated, so that's good.
You're right. I know I wasn't a big fan of this match, but I have to give it to Jelly Roll that you could tell that he really cares. And the thing is, he didn't sell it. And I think, Turk, you said it, that he really made sure that he didn't win because it also, there's a return match, but also it kind of shows respect to the other workers there because, in my opinion, it's a handicap match because I know it's Randy Orton, but with Jelly Roll, the odds are stacked against them with Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. So it just made sense to me that they had to lose.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Jelly Roll return next year, but have like a 6-pack and just be super fucking ripped.
Yeah.
You never know, man. You're at home. Yeah.
You start drinking some of the juice that they have backstage there at the
Prime?
Performance Center.
Yeah.
Prime drink?
Yeah.
It's a prime drink.
Yeah. Come
Well-
out just shredded.
Yeah, prime, drink all you want, just right before bed. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still tastes like shit though.
Yeah, I'll say just my take on the match. Yeah, you're right. Like it was, slow and awkward sometimes. But yeah, that spot with Logan Paul jumping off the pillar there onto Jelly Roll on the table. My God, I literally screamed out like, wow. Like that was a wow moment for me. And that doesn't happen too often when you're watching these PLEs. So that was great.
Yeah, especially in a celebrity match because they normally kind of tone it down a bit.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Like great on Jelly Roll for taking that bump. Holy shit.
Most celebrity matches, they always have the celebrity kind of win. And it's nice seeing the celebrity take the loss because realistically, you're not going to jump in the ring with someone who's been doing it for years and win.
Yeah.
I know it's all scripted, but it's nice to throw that aspect into it.
He respects the game for sure.
For him to not get the win and push for that kind of says something about Jelly Roll. Like he seems like a really good guy, and it's nice to see that he seems like he really had a lot of fun. And so I think it did what it needed to do for that match to get eyes on it and people talking about it. So it kind of performed its function. But I think we're going to move on to the main event of night 1. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on this. I'm assuming you guys probably thought it was a little bit dragged out, but I'm going to say this. I really like this match. Now, the ending, I obviously did not like for many reasons, but as far as
CM Punk taking giving the pin,
Liberace came back from the dead and took the title. One thing I really like about Gunther, he is a throwback wrestler from, you could put him almost in any era. He could have been in the Hogan era. He could have been in the Attitude, and he'd fit nicely in all those eras. And I like that. I felt like it was an old school kind of wrestling match where there's hold for hold. There was a real psychology to it. You understood. I like kind of even with the commentary, CM Punk might be over the hill. Gunther kind of dominated most of the match where CM Punk was kind of a step behind, but he was still his sheer kind of determination. I love that. Like, I love that this match told a really good story. It wasn't a perfect match, but as a longtime wrestler, I really appreciate kind of matches like this. And I do agree, maybe it went on a little bit longer than it should, but it told a good story. And it really tells you something, in my opinion. CM Punk is pretty much the same age as John Cena, but he can still go and put on a great wrestling match. For his age, he holds his own even better than some of the younger stars. And I really enjoyed this. CM Punk and Gunther have great chemistry together. The amount of chops that Punk took in this match, I was surprised because he took tons of chops left and right from him. I enjoyed this match.
Yeah, I liked the match. It was good, though. The part I didn't like is Gunther seemed to have been dominating for so long, and then it just kind of, I don't know, he took that jump or whatever off the table and, I don't know, got a gash behind the announce desk, but the ref just kind of sneaked back there. Oh, yeah, the ref came back there to help him.
Yeah.
And we're kind of panned away real quick. And then it was just the fakest, weirdest looking blood They're trying to say, oh, he busted his nose. It's like, well, his nose is still straight. I mean, I don't know. Looks pretty good to me.
I
Well,
thought
there's a story behind that if you don't know.
Yeah, I heard he actually did fuck up his nose there and he needs a surgery, but maybe.
Well, no, so I think the nose thing was prior to this match even starting, that he was slated for surgery. And that's why when he did the whole, like, the blood thing, then he grabbed his nose. So that was all like a work, but after the fact.
I broke my nose. It's bleeding above my nose, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, he's slated for surgery. I like the match. It was, grueling, and the win felt deserved, and props to Punk for taking a beating. Like you said, that guy can really put on a show. I think he's way better than Cena in the ring, in my opinion. And I thought Gunter's always been a really good wrestler, in my opinion, but just don't ask the sharpshooter, because he don't agree with that. He came out recently and said that Gunther is not a good wrestler and he hurts people on purpose, but
Bret Hart
said that, yeah.
He is his second favorite wrestler, and he put Goldberg over him, so that's always going to be contentious with the Hitman. I love Bret Hart's bitterness. Like, he just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care. He says what he wants, and I love it. I love that he's an old cranky Canadian. It's hilarious.
Fucking right he is, yeah.
Like, he has no bones shitting on Hunter and nothing. He doesn't worry about anything. I don't think I agree with him. I understand Bret Hart where he's coming from because of the chops. Because I heard The Undertaker, but The Undertaker said that in his day, if he was taking that many chops, he said it'd be a fist fight, because he's like, there's no fucking way I'm taking that many chops.
Right.
Just wants to attack those titties.
Yeah, he wants those titties. He wants to break the skin, and then when you get all oily and slippery, his hand just slips right off into your nipple.
Ooh.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room after the match.
Matt called this, but you predicted that
He did.
Seth was going to cash in, that it was a work. Turk and I were a little more on the fence, because I just thought, wow, that's quite a work to do, where he pretends to be hurt in a match, purposely loses, and then goes away and then comes back to win the world title. It didn't make sense to me, but I guess that was the story.
Yeah, see, what I was thinking, like an even bigger swerve. So if Yoda came out after CM Punk won, kind of come out on crutches, and then just kind of give him a warning, tell him he's coming out to him, and then kind of hobbles backstage, and then cashes in on night 2. I think that would have been cooler. But the way he did it with CM Punk, I kind of like too. He's like, when you call in sick to work, but after you're off the phone call, you drop the crutches and you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that worked for me. What I'm kind of tired of when people cash in the briefcase is they always use the briefcase as a weapon.
Yeah.
And then kind of win off the cash in off of that.
Right, yeah.
I think, because Naomi did the exact same thing, and Tiffany did it earlier this year against Nia.
So then is that like in the rules that briefcase is allowed to be used as a weapon?
Well, it's not a match yet till you cash it, so you use it, then you cash it in.
Yeah, I guess, eh?
Like, I hate the whole Money in the Bank cash-in concept personally. I just, think it's such a cop-out. Because, like, here's the thing. Story-wise, and, like, say, CM Punk's journey and his story, this happening to him makes a lot of sense to me. It works for me. But it's sometimes what I don't like about when they do these quick cash-ins. You have this great match between CM Punk and Gunter, and a lot of times these cash-in takes away from the drama of it and what you just experienced. Because I thought, on one end, it would have been nice to let CM Punk kind of glow in this moment, because I felt like it was really earned. And, when he won the title and the emotion, now it works either way, but it's just sometimes be nice that settle into that kind of moment, but they always like to snatch it away and then have a heel. And the problem is 10 years ago, WrestleMania 31, Seth did kind of the same thing in the main event. He came and he cashed in. And my problem is and why I have such a problem with Seth freaking Rollins, is that his character is exactly the same as the character that was in 10 years ago. And that's my problem, is that there's really no evolution of him as a character as a whole. He's the same character. And I'm going to go into it a little bit with even Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was a certain character that wasn't catching on eventually, and they were trying to force feed him to people. He went away, pandemic happened, came back, reinvented himself as the tribal chief, changed and became a heel, one of the ultimate heels in recent time. And that's what got him over. And that's what got him to where he is, where he only works what? I think, Matt, you've kind of said he works maybe 4 times a year.
Yeah, well, he's on track to do maybe 6 matches this year.
And you're also seeing a different version of that tribal chief now. He doesn't have a tribe. So what is he doing? He's repenting. He took a bullet for Jey Uso, and you're seeing this slow evolution where Seth Rollins, outside of his flamboyant Liberace freaking fruity cocoa puff clothes he comes to the ring in, and this flamboyant shit. And my problem is if he's a heel, be a fucking heel. But yet he comes to the ring and people chant his song. So it's like he wants to be cheered like a baby face, but then he acts like a heel, but then he wants to be treated to go all in this new gimmick. He needs to be a heel. He needs to come out dress black, wear a tie, maybe with a yellow collar.
No, you don't want to mess with his outfits. His outfits are legendary, and if he had a clothing line, my closet would be full of them.
Okay. Now, if he was by himself, Matt, I'm down with that. But because he has the super group and basically their evolution 2.0, Triple H...
I feel like the super group should dress like Seth and not...
Well, then do that. Yeah, they're not dressing alike at all.
I want Paul Heyman to come out in the furry jackets, the sunglasses, the big shoulder pads. I mean, he already tried matching Braun's tan. How about he tries matching Seth's outfits?
Because I just feel like it's always got to be Seth. So we're going to have 8 more months of Seth as the world champion. And fight me. I own wrestling. You know, like, I don't know if I could take that. Because I thought things were working when he was hurt. And I actually was getting into Braun Breaker talking more. And he was funny. And now that Seth is back, I feel like automatically they're going back to what they were before he left. And I don't know, it's just generic to me. I don't like this Seth shit. I just wish he'd go away.
So do you want to do a mid-year prediction? Seth versus Braun Breaker, WrestleMania for the heavyweight belt?
We could do that, but it's either Roman Reigns or CM Punk. Because Seth is going to be in one of the main events.
Yeah, do you think they'll have the Braun Breaker?
Guaranteed one of the main events is going to be Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins involved. You're seeing a pattern. Braun Breaker, they're setting him up because they're talking about he's going to be a future main eventer. Yes, they're building, but it's going to be Seth Rollins for a year or 2 more.
You think they're going to slow build him? Not rush him up like they did Tiffany?
Hopefully.
Like, look what the slow build they're doing with Dominic. That's perfect. They would typically turn him face and try to shove him down as this good guy intercontinental champion, but he's still getting cheered, but he's still a heel, but he's a cool heel, and the shit that he's doing. I'm the best intercontinental champion ever. Look at the stuff he did with AJ Styles. So it's night and day. And that's my point about Seth Rollins, that he doesn't change, and I'm tired of seeing it. And the thing is, I've kind of watched him throughout the years, and this is why I maybe have a more biased opinion than you two guys have, but I can't stand it. I need him to go away. But that's all I'm going to say, because I'm going to probably blow a freaking blood vessel in my eye thinking of this fucker.
Well, I'll say I was, obviously I did not predict Seth cashing in today. I really did think he was injured just because of the social media post with his daughter. I thought, oh man, they got to go to some great lengths to fool people, and he's actually with crutches and his daughter. And I thought, no way, he's got to be hurt. But nope, I was proven wrong. So it looks like there's no limits when it comes to fooling the masses. So good on the WWE for fooling me. And I thought the cash in, like the part where he drops the crutches, he's walking back. I thought that was great. I really love that part. I was like, yelling at the TV like, no way, no way. So it got me hyped up. And, obviously I'm not a huge fan of Seth Rollins, much like you, Raz, but I did like the cash in. It was probably one of the, from what I've seen on YouTube, probably one of the better cash ins.
Way better than Drew's last year.
And better than Tiffany's.
Yeah, 100%. So it was good. It's theatrical, some, trickery. So I liked it.
I thought night 2 started with a bang. Naomi defending her Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. This match didn't come anywhere near the WrestleMania match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and Bianca Belair, but I thought this was a fun match. I really enjoyed Naomi. I just liked that she was really playing a heel. She was biting the fingers, biting the ears, doing her little cackle, and then you had the continue ring work of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. I thought it was a great opener to start them off. I thought we started off in a pretty good direction with this match.
Yeah, overall, that was a good match. I mean, they always got to start off these PLEs with a solid match, and I feel the women are always kind of started off, and they do a good job opening it. Like, because Rhea and Io and Bianca opened up, was it night 2 of WrestleMania?
Yep.
And that was a good way to open up a match. Naomi was kind of the weak point of the match, the chemistry of Io and Rhea, and Naomi's just kind of there to, I don't know, just take advantage of any situation between them.
Can I also say the chemistry between Rhea Ripley and her black thong in her shorts that always want to kind of make an appearance? It's like her ass is so much in love with her shorts that her thong is trying to get eaten first. I just, every time I see her come out in her bottoms, I don't know, it just sends me into orbit. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think you can say that.
Too late. Yeah, I will say all the girls looked really good. Actually, I thought this was Naomi's her best outfit. I really liked it. She looked really good in it. But all the girls look great. Like, Rhea always looks great, and Io looked great as well. So it was eye candy galore.
That Naomi's dad came down with her and was shredded on the guitar.
Yeah, that was
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I do agree with you, Matt, that she was the weak link in this match. I think the wrestling prowess and chemistry between Rhea and Io Sky is off the charts. So, like, those two could headline a couple WrestleManias or any type of PLE they want, and you're going to have a fantastic match. What I like about Io Sky, doing her interviews and talking is not her strong suit, but you know what? How she's captured people just with her little kind of like her little fingers pointing at her and she does her little scream. It's just amazing how many people are just loving her. Like, she's so likable and you can tell she's having fun in there. Like, I know it's like a serious match, but she's always like smiling. You can tell she just loves what she's doing. And
she does. Yeah.
I think that's why I get so excited with, like, you guys know I'm a dick rider when it comes to Julia, because I know these girls that promos are not going to be their strong suit, but it's going to be their in-ring presence that's going to get them over. And that's the same with Stephanie Vaquer, that these girls, they're not going to have the when it comes to the verbal, but it's going to be in the ring with their actions, is that I'm really liking, because these girls can go in the ring. But I thought it was a solid match, and I thought Naomi winning was the right call, and I like that they're still continuing the story that Rhea just can't beat Io. And I thought it was kind of cool having Rhea take the pin, because I actually thought Io was going to take the pin, but they actually kept Io strong in this one, and it's kind of like it's even. Both kind of lost to Naomi, so I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good way to start the night for sure.
Our next match is tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Boys, I'm going to leave it to you guys, because the truth is I actually snoozed, had a nap through this match, so I never watched it.
Pretty insane spots. That's probably a highlight, but
sorry. It's going to be Matt, because I actually skipped this match. I'm sorry, I have a concussion. I skipped it.
I just figured, you know what? If I just shut my eyes here, I'll be okay for like 2 minutes, and I ended up sleeping right through it. And I'm like, I guess I'll just move on.
See, so that just shows the problem with the tag team division. No one cared about this match. Like, some of the spots were cool. Like, there was a spot where Candice LeRae was up, and she got pushed off the ladder in through another ladder. And was it the Triple H looked like their Ciampa hanging like Spider-Man? And I think it was just too much going on, too many people. There's lots of cool spots. Kind of hard to care. And Wyatt Six winning, I mean, no one cares about them.
Yeah.
They
All
need
that
to,
trouble, and they get called back, yeah.
they need to unite the tag team championships and just kind of, I don't know, focus on a couple teams. It was too much going on. Not enough care. Not enough.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
I still think they need to just turn the tag team division into just chasing one set of titles, get rid of one of the set of belts, and at least you'll have more tag teams, and you just have through Raw and SmackDown guys just flipping from show to show fighting for it. I think now I didn't see this match, but I haven't been enthralled with the Wyatt Six, so because that's a faction that should be an evil faction. Them being a face to me has been a flop, and the in-ring work from them has not impressed me. So I'm not. I was kind of thinking Andrade and Rey Fenix I thought would win this one because I thought they had the most momentum out of all the tag teams going into this, or it was going to be Axiom and Nathan Frazier, but I think you got lots of time with those guys because they're young. So, and nobody cares about the Motor City Machine Guns. So, like, they're good, but there's just something missing from them. And the Street Profits,
I don't think anyone cares about them.
I think the only thing that people care is that Montez Ford is married to Bianca Belair, and that's what kind of keeps him going. I think he is talented, but I don't know what you do with him. And Angelo Dawkins, I don't know. To me, they could just send him to NXT or TNA or something. I can't see that guy. And if they ever split those two guys up there, Angelo Dawkins is gone. Like a lot of these guys, if you split them up, I could see them on the chopping block.
Yeah, see, and I think with a tag team, like not only were there 8 people there and it's kind of just disorganized fun going on, but then you brought in B-Fab, Nikki Cross, Candice LeRae, just overcrowding it. I don't even think the Wyatt Six were featured that much on the cameras for the actual show, but they ended up winning. I mean, I don't even think they had any cool spots. I don't really remember. All I remember is the Candice LeRae going through the ladder and a couple of the other crazy setups.
And then our next match, as I'm going to segue to, was a no disqualification, no countout, last chance match for the Intercontinental Champion with a stipulation that if Becky won, Valkyria could no longer challenge for the title as long as Lynch is champion. I get what they're trying to do. The purpose of this whole Intercontinental and the whole thing with Becky is to take Becky, who's on her way out, on her way down, to kind of elevate someone, a younger talent, and get her to that stratosphere. That works if the person on the other end is actually really good on all cylinders. Lyra Valkyria, which she's nice to look at, I think she's good in the ring. The character and anything and persona, she is garbage. And I don't understand why they keep insisting pushing her. She gets barely a pin drop when she comes out there. And I swear those woo, woo, bird chants are all really put in there from their sound effects. I don't buy it that it's the crowd doing it. But then again, the crowd hums Seth Liberace Rollins theme. So what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, they probably are because people are looking for a reason just to yell and scream in the crowd. So they probably are doing the woo.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of sick of the Lyra, Becky, Bayley triangle. That kind of ruined the SummerSlam for me. It's like I've seen this too many times. They've been feuding since WrestleMania. I just don't care anymore.
Bayley just looks pathetic, her character in this situation. Like, why is she out there? Really?
She's always looked pathetic, though.
She had no reason to be out there. She looked stupid. She continues to look foolish. Like, I don't know where they're doing with this, but I'm so sick of it.
Well, this had the biggest botch of the night, in my opinion, worse than even Jade Cargill and Tiffy botch in the match. And this is where Becky has Lyra zip tied, and Lyra decides to do a belly to belly dump on Becky, and the zip ties come off her wrists.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there, laying there, trying to struggle to put the zip tie or put her wrist back in. But hey, save it for the guy. Fucking Michael Cole, what does he do? Oh, it looks like, did something happen, or zip tie? Did it come out, or what's going on? And then the cameraman zooms in on her wrists while she's trying to put them back in. Why? Why the fuck would you do that? It made no sense.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like thinking on the fly, knowing that happened. If she had more experience, they would have just improvised and did something different, but they're trying so hard to stay with the script. It looks stupid. The characters look stupid. The match looks stupid. It ruins the match. You didn't need much to ruin it. It's just, it's a match we just didn't need to see. You know, you could have had Chelsea Green on this spot. Her coming out there and doing her little thing, losing, is way more entertaining than watching these two going for 25 minutes.
I'm down for Chelsea Green all day, every day.
I'm going to leave this one in the toilet, and I'm going to try to flush it, and we're going to move on.
Well, there's one highlight from this match, is now that it's over and they're not going to interact with each other again, and Becky's got a good start with Nikki Bella now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that could actually help elevate that title and maybe be a good story. So far, I'm digging it.
And that shows you the difference in why the Lyra Valkyria, just it's not working. Send her somewhere. They're repackage her to do something else, because Nikki Bella comes in, Becky already picks up her game, and Nikki Bella who adds to it, and now their story, two Cougars fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm actually down for how that's going to play out, and then them kind of burning each other on the mic and low blowing. Or, you know what I mean, lowbrow. I loved it. I'm looking forward to that. And Becky's picked up her game, and that's going to be a fun feud.
Yep, I agree.
You know, so just get rid of that Lyra. Sorry, I bet she's a sweetheart in real life, but I just can't stand the character.
She just needs a better dance partner.
I don't know, man. Like they're giving her two vets, Becky and Bailey. Like you figure those two could have danced with her pretty good. Like who else can elevate her? Give her to Rhea Ripley?
No, her and Roxanne might be able to have a good inexperienced kind of.
I'm not saying Lyra's not good in the ring. It's more so her character is so bland. Like, you know, her big, Becky stomping boots. She can't cut a promo to save her life.
I know, but her problem was her dance partners, because she's looked up to both of them, Bailey and Becky. If she has someone more of her level where she never looked up to, like her interactions with Roxanne could be more compelling, more interesting. I don't know.
Maybe Becky and Bailey weren't the right dance partners. We'll see. But I think she needs to do something with her character. Like make her like a drunken Irish lady, and like she can like kind of hang around Sheamus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Go hang around Sheamus, and they can like start a stable where they're kind of like the Irish drunkards, and like she kind of like wants to fight. You know, she's a tough kind of like, that's what they need to do with Lyra. I'm here to fight, and she starts brawling with the girls. And what works is that she's a little kind of fiery kind of bird, but likes to drink and likes to fight. Fuck it, I'm down for that.
Yeah, lose the bird persona.
Yeah.
Oh no! Go all in on the bird. Come out with a beak. Like actual hottest bird.
He has to look like the Birdman from New Kids or Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall.
And then you can have that new character have like a fun segment with Big Bird from Sesame Street, and Big Bird's kind of giving her kind of the gears that, maybe you should quit drinking and quit fighting. And she like turns on Big Bird, and Pearl Harbors him and says, nobody tells me what to do. I drink when I want and I fight what I want. Okay.
Yeah, her entrance, there'll be someone throwing seeds, and she'll be pecking the seeds down for the rep or down to the ring.
Yeah. Just cartoon like.
too, like she's pecking the seeds. Yeah, that would be awesome where people throw seeds at her, and oh man, like you could turn her in. So guess we'll move on to our steel cage match for the United States Championship. It was okay. I thought Solo should have got the win because Jacob, I think he doesn't need the United States Championship. So I figured it played out how I kind of saw it. They got to stop playing the wrestler's entrance in the middle of the match. Big Jim comes out in the match and they play his music. Like Lise Bailey came out there without her music. She just came out there. So it was a surprise. But when like Big Jim out of nowhere, his music's played, he's not scheduled to appear in that match. So you're telling me that he's going to make the save, but he's like, okay, I got to get in there, but you got to play my music before I come out. It looks stupid. It annoys the hell out of me, guys.
What I like is every time that happens, the wrestlers stop what they're doing in the ring and sit there and stare and look confused. What's happening? I've never watched this show once in my life. Someone's coming out. Jimmy was the biggest loser of that match. Like, he came out and just gets booted in the face. So what was the point of coming out? You came here just to get kicked in the face? But I also agree. I think this could have just been a SmackDown match. It didn't need a PLE to it.
No, I didn't like this match at all. I thought it was a really lame cage match, in my opinion.
What's the big tall Samoan guy's name? Lama Suma? Whatever's
the taller Tanga.
What is it?
Yeah,
Tama Tanga, whatever. But he goes through all that trouble to put the handcuffs on Jacob, and just like a second later, Jacob is free.
Yeah, those are those sex toy handcuffs.
You have experience with those?
Well, so I've heard.
I don't know. I think this new kind of turn for Solo with the U.S. champion is actually kind of working for me. Like I find he's a little more entertaining. He's kind of funny. So we're seeing a little more kind of a different kind of dynamic with Solo Sikoa. But yeah, this match, I wasn't really a fan of it. But our next match, I was a fan of it, and it was only 10 minutes, but it was 10 minutes of fun, fantastic, entertaining stuff for the Intercontinental Championship. The dirty of the dirties, Dominic Mysterio puts his title on the line with AJ Styles.
Well, no, AJ, he's always one of the first title defenses to new champions, and SummerSlam proved to keep that.
This was one of my highlights when AJ came out with the lowrider, and the guy that was with him was one of AJ's kids.
Legitimate or illegitimate?
They just said his son.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the winner wasn't going to be the father of that son.
Right? Yeah, whoever gets pinned is the father.
Dirty Dom gets all the women, so you never know.
Yeah, well, I call this the Eddie Guerrero match because it had Eddie Guerrero all over it.
Yeah, it was a great match. It was a good way to lighten the mood after a couple disappointing matches in a row.
You know, really, AJ Styles is at that point in his career where, like, he's kind of put in this position where he's going to basically put the person over and to elevate them. Even if that's the case, I just think AJ is the right guy, and I think it is perfect to have him with Dominic because Dominic is on the rise. And just the history, I think it was 20-some years since that SummerSlam match when Eddie Guerrero took on his dad, Rey Mysterio, and the stipulation, whoever wins gets custody of Dominic. So it's just, it's kind of cool. And then AJ just homaging Eddie Guerrero's ring attire. Like those are the exact, they look like basically the tights that he wore in this match. That's Eddie Guerrero's. And I hope he wears those some more. And just like the gags and some of the trickery they were doing with the chair and then falling down and planting, you know, the evidence on the other guy and all that, and how AJ kind of, you know, reversed it on him, but actually Dominic with the boot still got the upper hand. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I like how SummerSlam turned into always some type of story with Dirty Dom. Like they had the custody battle. Last year they had when Liv and Rhea were fighting, and Dirty Dom's in that cage above the ring there. Then this year he's in a wacky match that pays tribute to the Guerrero and his dad's match. Next year maybe it'll be him versus dad in some type of weird stipulation.
I think I was telling you, Turk, that I would like to see Rey Mysterio turn heel and be kind of more like a manager, but he's kind of like a cartel type Rey Mysterio where, he teams up with, Dom, and actually, so he basically, Dom and all of them is like right-hand man, and he kind of starts, because they have all this AAA and all these Mexican wrestlers, these Lucha Libre. Rey Mysterio becomes kind of like a kingpin, but he's a heel. And really, if they want to push Dominic to being like a baby face, have his dad turn heel, and even Dominic's like, Dad, you took it too far. You know what I mean? I think that'd be great to see Rey Mysterio, because I think Rey Mysterio, there's a real asshole in there somewhere, because he's this little guy. He's got the mask. He's got all these years. Seeing him with a cigar coming out there, oh man, I want to see it. And it's been established through the storyline by Dom's eyewitness that Rey Mysterio is a deadbeat dad. And then it would just be awesome if this just turns into seeing his true colors, a deadbeat dad, but he's actually this evil little mastermind. Or maybe they have a stipulation for next year's SummerSlam where Dom has to put his mustache on the line, so if he loses, he has to shave off his stash or something.
Well, and then Mysterio, like if he's his manager and he's like the cartel kingpin, instead of like Carlito eating apples, he could be eating like avocados, because he has a bit of avocados.
Yeah. You could have Selena Vega as kind of like, she carries like a tray of avocados, and so he's eating them and then he throws them if he gets pissed off.
Yeah, I'll say this was one of, if not the, but like one of my favorite matches of the event, because it was just lighthearted, fun, and some good action, and two good wrestlers.
I think this was my favorite match of the night. Okay, but I guess we're moving on to night 2 main event. We get to, redo the main event we had at WrestleMania between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. I think we can all agree on this one. I thought this match was a lot better than their WrestleMania match, which I think universally none of us liked at all. Or this one, I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm not saying it's a perfect match. I'm not saying I had any issues with it, but I enjoyed this one a lot more than I did their WrestleMania. I thought it was a pretty fun match to watch.
Yeah, I think it was probably John Cena's best match since coming back. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a little too long, but there were some really cool spots, like when he's coming up the ramp there and he's got Cody on his shoulders. That's like over 20 minutes in. It's like, okay, well, definitely improved his cardio.
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't really have that slow start that WrestleMania match had. Like there, it seemed like they were staring at the crowd for the first, forever.
This was heads above better than the WrestleMania match. You could really see John Cena's improvement, because obviously he must have had some severe ring rust at WrestleMania, and like you had mentioned before, Matt, that it was very slow, and he was looked like tired a lot of times. But this one, he really went the distance, and he was much improved, and it looked like he had been wrestling constantly here. You can really tell that he's really in the game now.
Yeah, I think my one gripe with the match, besides the length, is the amount of finishers that were in this match. Like they made the moves seem like nothing. Like how many Cody cutters and
right.
They got to tone down on the false finishes. You could tell Cody picked up his game here. Like he probably realized, because I thought Cody's performance at WrestleMania 41 was really weak, just him. Where this one, you could tell he probably knew that he needed to pick up his game. And it's nice to see that John Cena picked up his game in this match. And you could tell they had a lot of fun. This is John Cena's last SummerSlam. And really, this is probably his last title.
We have to wait for the Unreal episode to come in.
Yeah, which is coming out next year. We're going to get to see this all play out next year when they do season 2. The crowd was really into it, so it was nice to see that. Yeah, no, all in all, it was an enjoyable match. Cody got the win. There was no final boss, as I know we were kind of speculating that since we got the Seth Rollins, then night 2 had to have a big kind of reveal. Something bigger.
We haven't seen anything yet after night 1.
No, and so you kind of thought, okay, maybe The Rock would make his appearance, because John Cena kind of is out of nowhere, just, I'm a face now, I'm a good guy, and I'm going to go back to Super Cena, and Which actually now would have made sense if he did appear, because he did join him at Elimination Chamber. And I understand you can kind of maybe try to work the storyline that the final boss Rock didn't need to be there for WrestleMania because John Cena is a huge entity all into his own. So that was that. But then since he turned back to being good Cena, The Rock's like, okay, now you're going against the final boss. You don't fuck with the final boss. In my opinion, if there was a time to bring back the final boss character, at that point that would have made sense, but they didn't, so they went with something different. I thought there were still seeds planted in Cody's eventual heel turn.
See, I think if The Rock would have came out and like had a jar that said Cena's soul, and he just kind of like the CGI kind of ghost kind of thing escaped there, and then Cena just like has like a fake seizure in the ring, I think that would have been way better than the ending we got.
It would have also made some sense of things, and it would have made more sense of John kind of his promo on the SmackDown before the weekend. It would have made a little more sense, but we got frickin' Brock Lesnar came out.
Yeah, the one that no one's been asking for.
There was a big pop, but, a lot of people seem to be surprised with that.
Well, apparently John Cena has been asking for him.
Are you bringing back Brock Lesnar to lose the Cena or to win? Or what are you going to do with this? Like, is this going to carry right to the end with Cena? When they're going to put this match on? It's a big deal. So I don't know what they're going to do. And then part of me thinks it kind of makes sense when I have had time to think about it. Just their announcement that SummerSlam next year is in Minnesota. And so I'm speculating that that'll be Brock Lesnar's last SummerSlam, and then he'll retire after that because I think he's from Minnesota.
So his retirement match will be against Jesse Ventura for the governor of Minnesota.
Yes. My prediction is that it's either going to be WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar, and Gunther, because there's been lots of talk about Gunther and Brock Lesnar. There was rumors that this past WrestleMania was supposed to be Brock Lesnar and Gunther, or the WrestleMania 40 they were supposed to. So I think they're going to do Gunther and Brock Lesnar eventually, and then Brock Lesnar will kind of do the honors and put Gunther over.
I think it would be better served to have a Brock Lesnar put over Braun Breaker. Have a Heyman or Paul Heyman guy versus an ex-Paul Heyman guy to put over the next big thing. Like Gunther, I don't really think he needs to be put over. He's got big wins. I think Braun would benefit way more from a Brock Lesnar win.
I agree with that. Like, I mean, a WrestleMania between Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar would be awesome. So I think he demolishes Cena in whatever match they have. He has to.
Yeah, they got to fix that top knot thing. He doesn't come off as strong with that. I think Seth Rollins in his outfits looks manlier than Brock Lesnar with that haircut.
But that's a Viking haircut he's got. He's back to pillage.
I don't think Vikings tattooed dicks on their chest, though.
I don't know, man. Maybe that's a tribal tattoo that the Vikings used to do, where they just put dicks tattoos on them, and then when they raid your village, you're getting fucked in many other ways.
There's probably only one certain tribe that did that, and they weren't after the women.
Are you looking forward to Brock Lesnar being back in the fold? Matt, you came up with an idea that it only makes sense that really Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker is the end destination for Brock Lesnar. And then, so I think we can have some stories with where we build up Brock Lesnar taking out John Cena, beating him, have him have a few feuds, and then lead to Braun Breaker. I think that's a good way kind of to go with Brock Lesnar. So do you think it's good to have him back? Do you care?
No, not really. I mean, I never watched WWE when it was Brock Lesnar's heyday. I kind of stopped before that and just got into it like a year and a half ago. I guess he put over Cody at SummerSlam, 2 years ago? Yeah, and been away from there. So you don't really have to put over the big stars right now with Brock Lesnar. If you're utilizing him, you got to put over the guys that are going to be the next big stars.
Well, the Braun Breaker, so that's probably why Brock is back there, right? Like, he'll feud with a few guys, but then his true purpose is to get guys like Braun Breaker over. But I think still going to have a program with Gunther. I mean, I think a lot of people have wanted that, but I agree with you. I think the money is Braun Breaker.
I know, but I kind of have a feeling they're going to have, now that CM Punk's back, we'll give him a program with Brock Lesnar. Maybe Roman Reigns will have one. Maybe Cody will have another one. That doesn't seem interesting.
Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, those guys have already done a bunch of WrestleManias, a bunch of PLEs. Those guys, let's let them run in the sun. I don't want to see that because we're already potentially, rumor is out there going around that we're going to get Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns this year's WrestleMania. So I don't want to see Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar, John Cena is one of his destination, and I think a program with either Gunter or Braun Breaker. But the thing is, what do you do? Like, we're still kind of standing behind the coattails of Seth Rollins, so Braun Breaker's still kind of a lackey in that kind of group. So I don't know when he's going to emerge as kind of a main guy, and just him and Paul Heyman. So I don't know, but it makes sense, Paul Heyman was the advocate for Brock Lesnar. Now Paul Heyman's the advocate for Braun Breaker. So he was the guy that ended Undertaker's WrestleMania streak.
Yeah, that was a dumb decision too.
To be honest with you, the only guy that I could buy at the time that is believable was Brock Lesnar. Who else was believable of beating Taker for the streak?
If they would have saved it and had a Undertaker Dirty Dom match.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected. Dirty Dom and Undertaker for the streak.
Yeah. They should have lost to Shawn Michaels one of those times. They've had so many WrestleMania matches. Could have gave I guess Shawn Michaels didn't really need it. He was big, but Undertaker was also big. I don't think wins and losses really took anything away from him.
But it was WrestleMania that he was never defeated at WrestleMania. So that was really the only thing that mattered to The Undertaker. Because he went like 21-0 before he took a loss at WrestleMania. So 20 years of not being defeated at WrestleMania is a pretty big deal. I don't think any other superstar is going to ever come close to that.
See, I think if he would have lost to Bray Wyatt or something, maybe. But I don't know, Brock Lesnar. That seemed unnecessary to break the streak.
But if you're going to have anyone beat him, to me it just made sense it was Brock Lesnar. Because who's this believable? Because Brock Lesnar is a legitimate badass.
Says who?
He's
a cuddly little teddy bear.
I am a little bit excited to see because I have been away from wrestling for almost 25 years, so I never got a chance to see Brock Lesnar wrestle. So this is why I'm kind of excited, because he'll be kind of new to me. So that's all.
I kind of want to dive back into the retirement year, Cena, the whole heel turn, and his return to being a babyface, and where it's going to lead up to his last match, and what we figure is how it's going to play out. Is this just a reaction to and doing kind of the big heel thing just didn't take off? Because it just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. My issue with the whole thing, it just kind of shows some of the decision making with the WWE booking. Really, they should have saw this coming, that I think turning him in his last twilight of his career just wasn't really going to take off, and they didn't really handle it right because they set it up, they had a good start, but then they just floundered. Here we are, John Cena supposedly is back to being a good guy for the rest of his career. Is that just due to bad booking?
I didn't like the face turn. It's too quick. It just seemed like all for nothing. The heel turn, I think, was fine. It shocked everybody, and it shocked me. And then they kept it going, and he seemed to be working with it. Whether or not it resonated with people, that could be up for debate. But this nonchalant, oh, yeah, Cody, you kicked me in the butt to want to wrestle. I'm a good guy now. Thanks for helping me. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was trashy.
Yeah, I think John Cena, he was never going to retire a heel. I think the heel turn was kind of there for that shock value, and it worked. But then I think they just kind of went into SummerSlam like, oh shit, we got to find a way to turn him face. We only got 4 months left with this guy. How do we do it? Someone came up with the idea, well, let's just do it tonight.
Yeah.
We'll be able to do it, but we still want to have 4 months with him as a face. Third face for his last match.
And this is not just in this situation. I really notice that something's not working, or say they have a storyline and say they maybe release someone from their contract or something. They just pretend that it doesn't exist and they just shift unexpectedly and just roll with it. And they seem more abrupt doing that. That's how I kind of take this John Cena run, is like they're seeing that the fans know that John Cena is going. They know it's his final few months. they don't want to boo him. He's kind of at that point in his career where they don't want to hate him. They want to appreciate him because he's here for a limited amount of time. So turning him this whole heel and that, it just didn't really stick. And they didn't really double down on it the right way. So here we are. He's a face again. So I don't know. I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean, he has the record for the most Make-A-Wish wishes granted.
Yeah.
You can't let something like that retire a heel.
No.
Kids love him.
And you can't do it right at the end that he loses and then he repents. You got to have him for a few more months, the John Cena that he was. Overall, they probably shouldn't have turned him heel at this point of his career. They should have done it a long time ago. They missed the boat. I give them credit for trying to be different and try something out of the box and be fresh, but it didn't take. And the thing is they set it up good, but then they didn't follow through. And it just kind of petered out. And here we are. I kind of think it was a waste of an opportunity, my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. It wasn't handled very well. Could have been done a bit way better.
Yeah.
Although I kind of disagree with you on the timing of the face turn. I did want them to go a little bit further down the road as a heel. Not necessarily right to the end, because I agree with you. You need some time to love him. But I was hoping like if they could at least get a little bit closer to his, say, final match or final PLE or something, and then kind of have the face turn there. Like, in my opinion, I had it in my head that there would be like a decision that had to be made. Like he was going to be faced with a decision, much like they do in movies, where he had to like save somebody or not save somebody. And my vision for it was like he was going to be faced with a choice, and he was going to choose to be good and save somebody down the road. I don't know who that person is. It's just I was just spitballing in my head, but I was hoping they would go a little bit further with the heel and then kind of revert near the end. But it didn't happen. That's cool. Whatever. But you can't always get what you want, right? So
now that we kind of have a little bit of aftermath of the SummerSlams and somewhat we kind of see where the characters are going, what would you guys like to see? Like, I think we talked about Cody's next move after beating John Cena. I think the ideal opponent for him is Drew McIntyre. Would that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's the perfect guy to set up next. I mean, he's coming off the win against Jelly Roll and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And Cody needs a heel.
Yes, he needs a heel. And I think Clash at Paris just makes sense. That I'd say let's get Sheamus kind of in on some of this action where you could have with Seth Rollins or even Cody, have them have matches on Saturday Night Main Event. What I'd like to see is a little more kind of variety in matches, people that are kind of fighting for the title, not just these, feuds that go from PLE, and then they have kind of like a blowout match. Like have other people really kind of vying for the title, kind of like I think Sheamus. Then throw for Cody. Why don't they have Rusev as at least the challenger on Saturday Night's Main Event, or have him on SmackDown? Do something like that, or on Raw. I'd like to see more of that.
See, I think what they could do is have Sheamus versus Seth Rollins, and then have the Bronze attack Sheamus, but then Rusev comes up. Then you actually have Sheamus and Rusev team up and go on a tag team tear. Like the tag team division on Raw, it sucks. Like who do you have? The War Raiders, Judgment Day, New Day. I think if Sheamus and Rusev team up, that's a pretty compelling tag team right there.
Rusev, he's actually really hilarious in real life. So some of the funny stuff with him and Sheamus would be fantastic. And then you throw in Lyra Valkyria, you have her part of the stable, and they're kind of this unruly tag team. I really enjoyed on Raw, Sheamus and Rusev. Their match was a no contest, but throughout the whole Raw, everything that was happening in the back, they just came in the segments fighting through it. I thought it was hilarious. You see Charlotte and Alexa walking with their titles, and then all of a sudden there's Rusev and Sheamus fighting in the background. And then, of course, they have Sami Zayn, the low-rent Mick Foley out there doing his little thing. And then, of course, Sheamus and Rusev. I love that Rusev punches him.
I think it would have been funny if the camera kind of cut in earlier and they're just kind of hanging out there like having a smoke or something. Like, oh shit, we got to pretend we're fighting again. Fuck, let me finish my dart.
Agree with you, Matt. I think those two should team up and they can kind of really add a dynamic to the tag team division. Because Becky's talking about Seth Rollins and all that. Why not have Becky become a part of that stable? Why not? Why doesn't she become part of the Vision?
Right.
They're already talking, referring to each other. Just have her, like, it just makes sense that she should just come out with them and be a part of the stable.
You and I talked earlier about that, about fantasy booking that faction, and maybe it would be best served for someone like Jade Cargill, because I think she's been exposed a bit independently, so she needs to maybe join a faction so she can kind of be insulated a little bit.
Yeah,
and then kind of show her some more techniques and ropes and let her hone her craft that way.
Well, let her work under Paul Heyman, and also there's Braun Breaker, because Braun Breaker is working. Paul Heyman has made it no secret that he's working very closely with Braun Breaker because he sees Braun Breaker as the future. So why not throw Jade Cargill? Right now, Jade Cargill just lost. What do you do with her? Kind of take her away and have her be reestablished with some type of where she's behind the scenes. She doesn't wrestle too much, and then so she works on her craft, and then they can kind of, because I think Jade Cargill, what I'd like to see, and I know, Matt, you might disagree with us, but I think she needs to kind of go more simplistic in her wrestling. She doesn't need to be fancy with her moves. There's other wrestlers out there like Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley that can be more flashy. They're just better performers. Or Jade, I think she needs to be like, not pretty. She needs to be snug in what she does. And I just think she needs to work on that, because do you throw Jade away and then what? You get rid of her, or you send her? What do you do with Jade? She looks like $1 million. So I don't think they should give up on Jade Cargill, but I think they need to repackage her a little bit.
Send her to gymnastics camp. I mean, she's athletic as fuck. She could pull off some of the flashy moves. Well, you give her some training outside of the wrestling, get into some gymnastics or something. She could come right back in, pull it off.
So basically, Tiffy time gymnastics school.
Yeah.
Well, she had a match with her, and so I don't know if she learned anything with Tiffy.
She did not.
No. So, and the thing is, Tiffy didn't look too good in that match either. That's the thing. Then that brings me to Tiffany Stratton. Where does she go from here? Because who's the next person on the block to challenge her for her to get into a program? There's really nobody. Like, think about it. If it's not Bianca Belair, who else is it?
Yeah, they'll probably end up throwing Nia or something, because there's not too much left for her. Well, dig up another legend out of retirement.
Nia and her already had a pretty lengthy program. So, Nia's right now in NXT feuding with Lash Legend. Looks like Nia's busy in a program elsewhere.
The only thing you could do with her is it'll be Naomi versus Stephanie at Clash in Paris. You have Stephanie beat Naomi. Naomi goes back to SmackDown, gets the title off of Tiffany, and then you have a lot more to do. You open up that, well, she had previous beef with Nia, she had previous beef with Jade. That kind of opens up that title to have some stories. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what they can do.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think they shouldn't take the title off Naomi, because the Naomi gimmick is working.
I know, but they wouldn't be taking they would be taking the Raw title from her, but giving her the SmackDown title, because she would take Tiffany's title.
That does make sense. I think they shouldn't fire on Stephanie Vicure that quick. I think she loses, but it's kind of like a questionable loss. So she still stays pretty strong. Like, it's a cheat, it's questionable, and then so she can kind of just get into a couple programs. I want to see Stephanie actually do the Intercontinental. I want to see her take it from Beck and let her simmer with the Intercontinental, because they did it with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker had the Intercontinental title. He had some good matches, and then they kind of took it off him, and now he's in the Seth Rollins league of Fruity Cocoa Puff. So Stephanie Vicure could probably add something to the Intercontinental. Then let the fans really call for Stephanie, because I think she has people behind her, but I think it's too soon, man.
I don't know. I think the women's belt there's for the younger ones, Intercontinentals for the older ones on the way out.
But the Intercontinental was always designed for up-and-comer people. You put them in there, and then there potentially could be future champions.
But shouldn't that be the United States Championship belt? Because that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, those secondary titles are launch pads. People like Becky Lynch, her job is to launch the next person. Becky's and Bayley's job was to get Lyra over. It's to springboard Lyra. It has nothing to do with Becky or Bayley.
I know, but you watch Becky's and Bayley's matches, and I don't think they compete with the Rhea and Io and whoever else is at the top there. I think they're kind of just simmering down to the mid-card.
Here's the thing. I think Stephanie Vicure is more polished than Tiffany Stratton. But again, Stephanie Vicure, she doesn't have the gift of the gab because there's obviously a language barrier. So to me, they just are building some nice hype with Stephanie. I feel like you put the title on her, you force feed her and push her that, okay, now you gotta like her, it may turn on him.
I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but I don't want to see the same thing happen to Stephanie Vicure that Tiffany Stratton is kind of dealing with, because Tiffany came out the gate really hot. People really got behind her. She was really kind of a cool, snotty heel, but then they kind of tried to turn her face, but she's still kind of, acting like a snotty heel. But I just feel like it's kind of stagnated her, and due to her also not having experience, like being only 4 years into the business, she has to have really good dance partners that can really elevate her. And it just seems like it didn't really happen with her, especially in like kind of really dramatic and intense feud. So maybe Bianca Belair, when she comes back in, you stick her with Tiffany and then see what happens and really, really bring out the grit in her, because that's what she needs right now. She needs a really kick-ass program that people can really get behind and get really invested in. I think that's what Tiffany really needs. And it's unfortunate. I thought that would happen with Charlotte Flair and her at WrestleMania, because to some degree, they're almost like mirroring images of each other, because Charlotte is older, but they're similar, very athletic, blonde, pretty, kind of women of privilege, kind of. So you thought they would really mix well, and Tiffany would have fed off really well with Charlotte. I mean, there could be some other factors that led kind of for that match to not be up to its potential, but it was kind of unfortunate, and she just never had that with, Nia is Nia, and then you had Tiffany Stratus, Trish Stratus, I mean. She is in her 50s, so she can still go. But for her to really put in with Tiffany, you need someone that she can really bounce off of really well. A great example of this, I think, is Mr. Perfect and Shawn Michaels back in the heyday. At SummerSlam 1993, those two were scheduled to fight for the Intercontinental Championship. And on paper, you think these guys could bump kind of some of the best in-ring workers. Like Mr. Perfect always elevated his opponents from Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart. The list is endless. But when you match them up with Shawn Michaels, they actually canceled each other, and they actually had a real horrible match at SummerSlam. I guess that's kind of what I saw with Tiffany and Charlotte. But I think if Tiffany right now, if you're going to keep the title on her, she needs a really intense grudge feud to really get her back on so people get behind her. You double down on her being the privileged bitch that gets everything, or she's the underdog that you root for. But you look at Tiffany Stratton, she doesn't look like an underdog. She's just one of those people that just looks like kind of they have everything. So I don't know where they go from here.
Yeah, but to counter that, you have her win the belt. She doesn't have to hold it long. She defends it 1 or 2 times, loses it by a Survivor Series, and then gains experience from that. I think it's the longer title reigns that's kind of devaluing some of these people coming up.
I want to see Stephanie kind of win, but I think because I'm enjoying the Naomi character, I kind of don't want to see them take the title from her too much. And I thought, I don't know, just to send her back to SmackDown and all that. We've already seen her feud with Tiffany and all those people. I kind of feel like it's more fresh with her on Raw.
Yeah, but adding a belt on her and the feud on SmackDown, I think adds a bit more. Maybe next time she actually gets the win over Jade as champion.
But then again, that's another loss for Jade. So what, now Jade is just there to take the L? Kind of really seems like a demotion in her character. So it's like, it's kind of tricky what they do with some of these guys, because Jade is in a real interesting spot because her loss and how she lost at SummerSlam tells me they're not really that sure about Jade right now.
Maybe Karrion Kross's new contract has Scarlett stepping in the ring.
To see that.
Ooh, yummy.
Then she could be the real heel once she'll have those long claw nails, those spiky bras.
Yeah, so speaking of Karrion Kross, is this all a work with the contract and all this stuff and him losing? Is this part of the program to elevate him, or is this just one of those things, it's reality versus...
Oh, I think it was a nothing match. They made him lose to kind of devalue him and offer him a shittier contract.
Okay, but then if they want to devalue him, why do they still want him in the company then? Like, then just, if he's not that valuable to you, let him go elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. If he would have won, they might have had to offer him a bit more to stay. 'Cause if he's coming off a win off SummerSlam, maybe some of the other companies are going to throw more money in the bid there.
But what companies? Because AEW they're not even really competitive. TNA is a more competitive company than AEW, but the difference is TNA is working alongside WWE. Him going to TNA is not an option.
Yeah, or else maybe it would have been an option for him just to leave wrestling and take off somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah.
That whole Sami Zayn Karrion Kross didn't make any sense.
As per WrestleLamia. So
That's got to be true then.
well, it's been pretty good source lately.
They've been pretty good sources. Okay, so yeah, because I think it's a work. It's now with this Unreal and all the stuff they're doing, I just assume it's all work. Now that the Seth Rollins fake injury, it's all work. So how can you trust that this whole contract dispute, Karrion Kross, lowbrow him, is it all part of the story? Like, I don't know, man.
I saw someone make a comparison to Stone Cold Steve Austin, is that Karrion Kross could be that next one, the guy that fights the system, fights the company. So it could be a work. We don't know. Yeah,
he just doesn't have the in-ring work like Stone Cold, though.
You're right. He doesn't. I agree with that. But I mean, his persona is pretty big. He's outselling people in merch.
What do you guys think about Rhea Ripley? Where does she go from here? She's lost. She's been chasing the title and just been coming up short. What's her next move? Does she go really heel, or is she just too popular and the merch is so good? What do you do with her? Is she leaving soon? Because she has been pretty honest that she wants to have kids soon. So is this the reason why she's not kind of having a run with the title? Or is this just kind of to show vulnerability in the character, because she was pretty dominant there where she was starching everybody and beating them, where now she's taking losses here or there and coming up short. So I wonder, what do you think's going to happen with her?
I think if she takes time off, maybe gets a couple babies partied into her. If it comes back at a Rumble in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's time for mommy to be a mommy.
But here's the thing. I hope she froze some of her eggs, because the one thing I worry about her getting, going and squirting out a few kids is what I noticed with some of the broads. I mean, Jade to me is kind of one of the exceptions where she's had a kid and like she don't look like she squirted out a kid. But you look at Becky Lynch, because you guys should have seen Becky before she hooked up with Seth Rollins and he knocked her up. She was great on the mic. Her ring work was good. She looked really good physically. She is like a shell of herself. It seemed like when she had that kid, and you guys can probably contest to this being fathers, the amount of toll that having a child on a woman, birthing them, does to their body. They're never the same.
Alexa Bliss still has it going after squirting out a kid.
Sure.
She might be the exception to the rule, but she's got...
So I thought Jade was the exception. So now there's two exceptions?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's two exceptions.
You know what, though? There's always females that can squirt out kids and they still look great 6 months later.
That's true.
It's in their DNA. Not every female has that ability. It's just how shit works.
I agree. Alexa Bliss looks scrumptious, but you should have seen her before pregnancy, man, what she looked like, how she moved, how bubbly. She looked way better before. But I mean, as we get older, our looks go anyways. So like, I mean, I'm being, but it's like she still looks like, phenomenal. Like
I think she looks better after having a kid.
Well, I look better than I ever did, so.
CM Punk, where does he go from here? LA Knight, CM Punk?
Yeah.
They could have good interactions. I think their match would be pretty good too. I don't know who you would want to win because you kind of don't want any of them to lose.
CM Punk doesn't need it. LA Knight does. Because LA Knight has never been the champion. CM Punk, he just was a champion maybe for 5 minutes or 2 minutes. But he's been champion. He's main evented. He's done that. LA Knight hasn't done that, and I think it's more important for LA Knight. CM Punk will get his WrestleMania. I think that's where he's going to get his win, get his titles. This year's WrestleMania. I think they're going to do that. So CM Punk has some time. So
yeah, I just don't see LA Knight winning a title this year at least. So I don't know if it's worth it having him go over on Punk.
And what even concerns me more is because our Royal Rumble's going to 2 nights in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
I think Sami Zayn's going to get the win at the Royal Rumble because it's in Saudi. He's never won a world title. I just feel like they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, he's Muslim.
See, what I feel they should do a complete shakeup for Royal Rumble this year. If you introduce a new Americano Grande every week up until Rumble, you'll have 30 of them.
Yeah.
The winner of Rumble goes to WrestleMania, and he holds the mantle of Americano Grande, and then can fight the champion.
I would think they should consider having Chelsea Green kind of do the Americano, a Grande Americano, where she comes out in the mask, because I think she just has the talent. That would be hilarious if she poses as a Grande Americano too.
Well, I mean, you could probably do the Royal Rumble for men and women, where all 30, I guess all 60 of them are Americano Grandes.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like if every week there's a new Grande Americano, and if you do SmackDown and Raw, you could really build something with that where you could get there a lot sooner.
Because, well, if you think we already have 4, the Rumble's probably about 26 weeks away. 1 a week. You'll get 30, called the Grande Rumble.
I just want to say this was a really good talk. I'm glad we have Matt on the team, not just anybody's doormat, but our Matt. And I'm glad he's here. So I'm hoping that our conversations will entertain anybody who comes and listens.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm only 5 beers down and 1 whiskey.
Damn, I gotta compete now.
Yeah, I don't even know if you guys know, but I had snuck out for 2 piss breaks.
Okay, well, that was a lot of fun, boys. I think I'm looking forward to the next PLEs.
Well, we are going to have some more PLEs we will cover in the future, so look for those. And also some more videos we'll do on whatever we dream up that day. We'll do some more videos, so make sure you stick around.
Yep, there's going to be plenty of more coming that way, so we appreciate the support if you can give it to us. Leave a comment, please subscribe to the channel, click the like button and the notification, and we hope to hear your guys'
feedback. Absolutely.
Except Turk, he's a little sensitive.
Aw, yeah, he's here.
Okay, on that note, you've been listening to Off the Rails Wrestling. Till next time.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.